Drug traffickers kill so many thousands of our citizens every year, and that's why my Department of Justice will be seeking so many much tougher penalties than we've ever had. And we will be focusing on the penalty that I talked about previously for the big pushers, the ones that are really killing so many people, and that penalty is going to be the death penalty.
Welcome back to News 9 at 5:30, our discussion of the president's plan to fight the opioid epidemic. One of the major proposals made right here in New Hampshire today, seeking the federal death penalty for some drug traffickers. State Drug Czar Dave Mera and Dr. Cheryl Wilkie with the Farnam Center are both here to join us. So what do you think? Will capital punishment for the worst of the dealers work?
I'd rather focus on, instead of talking about the death penalty, I'll leave that to the pundits and the politicians to discuss that. I'd rather talk about what we are doing in New Hampshire to help people suffering from addiction and their families, and what more we need to do. I'm more interested in talking about what kind of federal funding can we expect coming out of Washington. This week is an important week. The deadline is the 23rd. March 23rd for both the Appropriations Committee in the Senate and the House to come up with how they are going to spend the $6 billion that have been allocated towards this problem. We're more concerned about is New Hampshire and other states like us, is the money going to be allocated not by population but by proportion of the problem that each state is experiencing. Which
would give New Hampshire a larger segment of that money?
That's correct. So that's what we're focusing on. We're focusing on what can we do to help New Hampshire and families that are suffering from addiction.
And Dr. Wilkie, stiffer punishments for drug dealers, does that help you on your end, the treatment end here?
Yeah, I'm not real sure what that would do. You know, we've tried a lot of different programs to scare people and keep people away from drugs and alcohol, but it's still, you know, a personal choice that somebody's making, whether it's an addiction or not. We all have a choice. So I'm not sure that that's going to deter anything, but I agree with Dave. It's really important that we focus on how can we get the treatment that we need in New Hampshire. Currently, to run the Farnam Center, it costs $275 a day per person.
Per person.
Per person, per day.
And who's paying for that?
Well, you know, right now we're getting some funds from insurance companies, and we're getting some money from Medicaid, and we're also getting some money from the Bureau of Drug and Alcohol Services. But the funds are $140 a day from Medicaid, I'm sorry, from BDAS, Bureau of Drug and Alcohol Service, $160 from Medicaid, and from private insurances, and some of that is from the exchange, is between $400 and $600. So we really need to be looking at what the Medicaid rates look like as we're going forward with expansion, or we're going to have a problem with how we're going to be able to build the infrastructure for all of New Hampshire.
So you're really focused on the federal funding and how much money would come to the state of New Hampshire. Are people being turned away where that money is actually leading to opioid overdose deaths?
I would say probably yes. I mean, we have a waiting list, so I would say that people are being turned away whether they pass. I pray to God they don't, right? Like, that's all I can do. I've talked to a lot of family members who have lost family members even after treatment, so I'm not sure that it's a before or after thing, but I can guarantee you if we don't have the funds to continue to build the state facilities that we have in New Hampshire, we're going to be looking at what happens next with crystal meth, because that's coming into the state, and it's a very different.
A lot about that lately.
And I've been seeing a very large quantity of people walking through the doors with those kinds of issues, and it's a very different drug with a high crime rate that goes with it. So we really need to be ready for what's happening and not cutting back on what we're doing, but really increasing how we're going to be able to manage all of the different needs of the clients coming in.
It does seem like New Hampshire is always one step ahead. All right, coming up, we will have a look at other proposals, including improved access to treatment beds and to Narcan. Stay with us.